It's really hard to look at the statistics if you're a Gonzaga coach or a Gonzaga fan after a game like this. I think the most important indication is that the energy has stayed very consistent throughout, on both ends.
Well,
agree?
I totally agree. I think the effort's been there on both ends for the most part the entire game. Particularly defensively, you've been disciplined. You've made life very difficult for Pepperdine. Both individually, you've put in the effort, and then collectively did a nice job as well. So,
ow.
That looked like it hurt.
Willis is tough, though. Got some hockey in him.
And, you know, I think some of the numbers here offensively, you're not shooting a great percentage if you're GU, a little less than 41%. Your three-point percentage number's gone down here a little bit in the second half, 33%. So and you missed some free throws, although you've done a nice job on the glass with 32 rebounds. But I think defensively you take a lot away from it. The effort was there, and in building where you have no students, you have some students back on Saturday, and that's going to be a big boost.
Matisse Kaida on the floor, number 25 for GU. Here's Spangler inside, jump hook, missed it. And a foul called on Dower. So Dower picks up his second. That's 7 on GU. Sam just went for the rebound.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was watching the ball. And it's like everybody on the floor was surprised with the call, but Darby will take the free throws.
And he hits the first end. Senior out of San Marcos, California. 12 points, 6 rebounds.
And he's really blossomed this year. I mean, you look at the first 3 years, primarily a starter, career averages of 7 points, 6 rebounds. This year he's really done a nice job bumping those up to about 12 and 6 respectively. He's a guy who's developed every year. And it hasn't been easy being away the last few years with the coaching changes and the struggles on the floor.
Well, Dower now with 9 points. This game was close at the 9-11 mark of the first half. GU was up 15-12. But then an 18-3 run blew it open. And it's been all Gonzaga since. 62-36 the score as we near the 6-minute mark. Ten on the shot clock. Willis. Left hand, no good. Whistle. And this foul's on GU, and I believe it's on Spangler. His second, team's 8th.
You know, Willis has struggled tonight. Only 2 field goals attempted. 5 points, has done his damage from the free throw line. 5 of 6 there, but for a guard, he's a good rebounder. You see 4 rebounds tonight, 2 assists, and he competes. And with that body, he's a big kid, has good strength. I think he's a guy that they can continue to build around here the rest of this year.
Sam Dower out of the game. Mike Hart replaces him. Dower 9 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Murninghoff. Number 2 of the game for him.
There's always room for a shooter in your rotation.
You gotta have him, right? You gotta have him.
And it's been a luxury this year, given the fact that Pangos has done such an excellent job, as well as Stockton, Harris, and Bell from the three-point line. But if you want this a straight shooting competition, Murninghoff would be right there with Pangos. He's that good a shooter.
Probably anybody in the league.
Well, I mean, look at a kid like that. You know, Murninghoff, what kind of minutes would he get at another program, maybe outside of St. Mary's, BYU?
He's a 6'5 shooter.
Yeah, that's indicative of the depth this program has right now.
Again, Murninghoff. How about that? His teammates love him.
I was going to say that. You can tell they really root for him. He's a good kid. You get the chance to talk to him. Humble kid, not a lot of ego. Just loves to play the game. And I think people forget sometimes how big of an adjustment it is coming in from overseas, not really knowing the language and trying to assimilate to what you're, to not only the basketball side of things, but also the culture. I think he's done an excellent job of trying to balance both.
And he's admitted to me it's been frustrating for him. His whole life he's played.
Well, he can make money. Hey, a lot, Kaida, Harris, Murninghoff, all these European guys could make money right now and play.
So time for our play of the game, brought to you by Cost Cutters, family hair salons in North Idaho. Cost Cutters for perms, colors, and haircuts, starting at $14. Open daily. Cost Cutters, our play of the game, and it is that third make from behind the arc by Matisse Murninghoff. Or, I'm sorry, Modest Murninghoff. 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting. All of his attempts from behind the arc. Also has 4 rebounds. And there's Matisse. Kaida, the steal, missed it. Carter got it back. Spangler with the right hand off the left side of the glass. You got to get the left hand going on him.
Oh, I thought Sam Dower was one-hand dominant. You don't see that very often. Use the left hand, big fella, but a nice play. And Marquise Carter comes up with the offensive rebound.
Harold driving inside. And Hart called for the foul. And that's, oh, actually, it's on Murninghoff. His first. 9 team fouls now on GU. And that puts Hector Harold out of Pasadena, the sophomore, at the free throw line. Guy Landrietti on the floor. Mike Hart goes out. One of 2. Spangler with his 4th rebound. Kaida driving. Eddie lost the handle. And he'll shoot a free throw. 70-38. So the foul on Manny Ochenji.
You know,
that's his first.
At this point in the game, Greg, I think both coaches want to get out of here.
No injuries.
Make sure there are no injuries. You know, it's tough in these types, you know, at this point in this type of ball game to get a lot out of it as far as coaching and all that. I mean, individual players can make some progress and maybe get some confidence, but overall, there's not a lot you can gain from this for either team.
4 minutes to play now. There's Ochenji. Nigerian. Came here to play high school basketball. Hasn't been home in almost 5 years. Hasn't seen his family in almost 5 years. Kaida misses, which I think is the one thing that bothers me most about college athletics and this whole you pay the players argument. I don't know if I'll ever get to that point, but when you recruit international players and you can't buy a kid who doesn't have the money to go home and see his family in the summer, I think there's something really wrong with that. J.P. Batista had that issue here. Didn't see his mother for 4 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know,
that's got to change.
If it's about the student athlete,
yeah.
You know, that's not. I don't know how you can classify that as an improper benefit.
I mean, it's just being humane.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, you're absolutely right.
Kaida, another right-handed layup on the left-hand side of the rim. But it works.
It's in style right now, apparently. Style points.
And the quick bucket at the other end.
Back to just GU's European players. I think it's easy for fans to forget that. You know, now could Kaida and Murninghoff play at a high level in Europe? Probably not. But they could play somewhere and make a little bit of money and just be a pro. But they take the chance. They come here. They get an education. They understand the value of that. And so you talked about the frustration for some of these kids at times, and you can understand why.
2 minutes, 22 seconds to play. Gonzaga up big on Pepperdine. Matisse Kaida working hard to the rim. We'll be right back with our finish. Also time now to announce our Subway sub of the game. Big hot pastrami melt is back at Subway restaurants. Big bull tender, crank up the flavor. Subway restaurants, proud sponsors of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The sub of the game, Sam Dower, 9 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 rebounds. Really came alive in the second half.
Yeah, we talked about it going into the second half. He's a guy who seems to need a half at times to kind of get the rhythm of the game, get into the flow, and it just takes one bucket or one play to get his mojo going. And you saw it tonight, just that easy layup got him going a quick 9 points. And what an asset off the bench for GU and for Mark Few. I tell you what, he's probably the best scorer off the bench for any ball club in the league.
And it's a bit unfair to call him a sub because he's a starter on any other team in the West Coast Conference. I don't care what team. Well, maybe BYU.
I would say BYU's probably pretty happy with the front line,
because
but outside of them, yeah. But he's playing for everybody. I mean, you know, that's how I often look at, you know, every year. Apparently, you know, if you ask fans, every year it's the best GU team of all time and all that. But a great way to look at it sometimes is, hey, you know, could X guy play for, you know, ABC teams in the past, and our guys on the bench, would they play for other teams?
Foul called on Carter. The topic of Kelly Olynyk came up today at practice. Some of us were sitting down there and someone said, this is as deep a team as Gonzaga's ever had, because even on the other deep teams, Olynyk would have been playing. And I brought up, well, wait a minute. There was a team with Violet, Turioff, Fox,
Gord.
Gord.
People forget how Gord was as a junior, led the nation in field goal percentage.
Is Olynyk getting time on that team?
I don't know. I don't think my minutes would have changed much, but I'm a big fan of Kelly. He's about as skilled and big as you're going to find. I think this redshirt year is going to do him a lot of good, but it's tough. It's tough.
Handled that well, Foxy. There's Pendo and Violet. Look at that combo.
It looks like one knows how to dress a little better than the other, but
very similar players, only one was a lot bigger than the other.
Yeah, hard, both of them hard-nosed, really competed, didn't back down from anybody, did it in different ways, but at the end of the day, you knew every night what you were going to get. And I think as a coach, you know, that doesn't get talked about enough. You really love to have that. I know what I can get every night from the same guy. And both those kids provided that. I mean, you know, Corey Violet was as good a post, probably one of the more underrated guys that have come through here. And obviously, everyone knows what Pendergraft did, being a more recent player.
A minute 23. There's Baker. Grabbed by Spangler. Up to Kaida. Into the paint. Left it short. As we near the 1 minute mark. Well, the tests are only going to get tougher now as the weeks come along here in the West Coast Conference. Santa Clara will be a greater tough test coming this weekend, but they still have 2 games with St. Mary's and 2 games with BYU. And those really are going to be the classics this season in the West Coast Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones that are going to draw the most attention, I think.
I think LMU, you know, when you has to travel down to LMU, San Francisco, and Santa Clara, all 3 of those games are going to be awfully tough. All 3 of those programs tend historically to play, if not their best, one of the better WCC games when Gonzaga comes into their gym. So, you know, you get a false sense of security a little bit if you're GU. You play a down Portland team, obviously a rebuilding Pepperdine team. You're probably not quite as good as you feel right now, although you are impressed with the way you've played in both games.
Eddie missed the shot. Carter ran it down. Many of the fans hanging out here to the end. I mean, maybe 20% of them have left. They love their Zags in Spokane. Here's Kaida for 3.
Kaida's getting them up. 1 of 5 here.
That shot way off by Kenji. And now Gonzaga will run out the clock. 12 and 2, Richard.
Hey, I tell you what, if you told the coaching staff November 1, hey, you'll be 12 and 2 after the second conference game, they would have taken that in a heartbeat.